All right, we're back. Another episode of
Welcome,
Rookie of the
everyone.
Bet. Hello. We've had a little busy week. I've had my midterms in college. But most importantly, speaking of college, after a 1-year hiatus, my favorite event, probably in sports, March Madness, is back.
Yeah.
Thank the
Let's
heavens.
go, baby.
I don't think I've been
This
more
is,
upset.
you know what's great about March Madness, everyone?
Yeah.
Is that, so I'm not a college basketball fan at all because Stanford sucks at college basketball. I have no reason to be a college basketball fan, but this event is just so damn fantastic. I can't not watch. I can't not make a bracket. And it's one of those rare things that unites all of us sports fans, especially in America. So I think this is just amazing to have this back. Because think about how boring the month of March should be without March Madness. When I think about March in general, this is the only thing I look forward to, pretty much. So I think everyone should be grateful out there for having such a great event coming back. And a good tournament, too. We have so many strong teams. While the 1 seeds are pretty strong, and you'll see I'll disagree a lot with Sam's bracket this year. I think we got a couple of teams who could potentially make a Cinderella run that we saw in the last tournament in 2019. But so today, as you guys can see, obviously this is my bracket for March Madness. And before I go into all of my picks and stuff, I just want to say I do not watch college basketball. This is based off of somewhat what like experts are saying on this tournament, and then also a bit on like what my friends say about what upsets could happen, and just a sort of bit on my emotional feeling on some of these teams, which you'll see. But so just to sort of jump into my picks here before Sam goes in his. Of course, we got Gonzaga winning. We can see that, right?
Yeah, I see everything, and so does.
All right, awesome. So we got, of course, the Zags winning in the first round, and I don't even think I need to explain anything on that. OU over Missouri. I got to admit, that's just a little bit of an emotional pick because, I like watching OU in football, and they've had stars before for basketball like Trae Young and stuff before. So I just think they're getting the win there. I can skip over some of these first round matches. Like we know Creighton's going to beat UCSB, UVA over Ohio. This is interesting right here. USC and Wichita State. So this is a bit of a crazy pick.
Yeah, why did you choose the play-in? I normally avoid these like the plague. So why did you choose the play-in?
Because I believe in Wichita State, baby.
But what if they lose the play-in? Then you're fucked.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm messed up, but like, is USC going to get back pick past Kansas in the next round anyway? If that busts out, my whole bracket won't be completely finished.
No, you're right. That's the good thing about these brackets is that if you get like, it's better to lose like something where like the first round game where you have Kansas beating them anyway. So that's not a big deal. I don't know why I got on.
So I'm picking Wichita State because I saw a stat the other day where they have a lot more upsets than a ton of teams that have ever been in this tournament before, and just I do not believe in USC's as a basketball team. The Pac-12 in basketball has historically not been that great, and I just don't think I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, and I mostly go with my gut on these things, and I usually do pretty good, I should say. Kansas obviously beating EWU, Oregon beating. I will say VCU. I haven't known much about VCU. I don't know how big of a college basketball fan you are, but how much of a shot do they have in that game against Oregon?
Little to nothing.
Okay, good. So I'm not missing.
Oregon's a basketball powerhouse out of the Pac-12.
Yeah, I would think so because one of my friends is an Oregon fan. Like, is always reposting all these top recruits they're getting and stuff. So I couldn't not pick them there.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll beat Iowa. That's my concern. Iowa people are shitting on Iowa, but Iowa can make it very easily to the Sweet 16. In my personal opinion.
Definitely had a pretty strong strength of schedule. Iowa. Yeah, I think they can get it. I got them winning in the first round there. And then actually, so I got a little mixed up here. In my other bracket, I picked Iowa to beat Oregon, but in this one, I picked Oregon to beat Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is sprouting off of my like friend who's like supports the team, and he's always posting these top recruits they're getting. So I think they're pretty reliant on their stars. So I don't know. I just see them winning that one.
Yeah.
And to finish off this, so UVA and Creighton, I think this is an interesting matchup that is most likely going to happen in the second round. And a lot of people seem to be split up on it. So what are your thoughts on UVA versus Creighton in the second round?
I have UVA confidently beating Creighton. Creighton late. So I'm a Georgetown Hoyas basketball fan. As a Georgetown student. And we played Creighton in the Big East Championship, and they sucked. We beat them by like 34. And
yeah, didn't they?
To our
They laid
defense,
an
we
egg.
played very well. They played very bad. They had a college scandal. Their coach got suspended in the semifinal game, I want to say, because he told his players to go back to the plantation. He should have been fired for that.
Oh God.
So I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of energy. It would not surprise me if Creighton got upset by UC Santa Barbara, because I don't know. And that's what I think Creighton's better than UC Santa Barbara, and I think Creighton wins. But like, if that upset happens, I won't be surprised, just because UCSB, it sounds like an upset team. You know, it's normally like these tropical schools that are these upset places. Santa Barbara, very nice place, by the way. I'd live there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Creighton pulls it off, but they're definitely not beating UVA. UVA is the defending champs.
Yeah, but I always feel a little bit suspect about UVA because before last year they had been a perennial tournament disappointment. Like, I mean, every year it seemed like they were busting brackets, but like losing in the Sweet 16, the second round, the teams they shouldn't. I mean, you remember that one year they were the 1 seed and they lost to the 16 seed?
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna ever repeat that. I feel like that's a franchise watershed moment, or like a school watershed moment where you don't repeat that.
Yeah, not as bad as, I mean, that choke was probably the worst of all time, but like I'm just saying historically, they have somewhat of a history doing that. So yeah,
that's fair. But
that
I mean,
being
they
said,
should go through Creighton. They will not beat Gonzaga. I agree with you. Whoever comes out of that
Gonzaga,
Creighton UCSB game, they'll beat Ohio. They're only held back because they had a COVID outbreak during the ACC tournament, so they didn't even play in the ACC tournament. So they've been out of commission. So that's why they're not like a 2 seed or 3 seed, and they're 4.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I do have Gonzaga winning that region, the West region. I just think
let's talk a little bit about Kansas. So, what do you know about this Kansas team, and how much of a shot do you got them to make it to the Final Four?
Again, not much. Same thing with Virginia. I think Kansas beats Iowa personally. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Hold on. I have USC beating Kansas. Kansas is a good
man, that would bust my bracket if USC made it that far.
Yeah. But Kansas is like, they've just been worn down by injuries. The Big 12 wasn't too good this year, and they still didn't do too well out of the Big 12. I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if they go early out.
Yeah, I mean, momentum is pretty important going into this tournament.
Yeah.
So, do you think we got potential for a 7-3 upset right here?
It could happen. Again, anything could happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think that Iowa could definitely beat Kansas. I think Oregon could too. Oregon's a good program. That's the thing. But so is Kansas, rock chalk, all that shit. But
I mean, both of them have a history of just being very well-run college basketball teams, and both of them have a good amount of talent to compete and to make it to the Elite Eight, potentially Final Four. I mean, I don't know. I think the biggest lock out of the brackets here, I think, is Zaga making it out of the West.
The West, easy. They're the best team in that region. No doubt.
It would take a huge collapse, I think, for them to lose. They just have so much. They just have so many things going for them in this, especially being undefeated. But
and that's a school with like a choking reputation. Always been there but not good enough. But I mean,
Gonzaga?
The talent, but the talent.
I mean, they usually make it to the Elite Eight, though.
Yeah, and then they don't go like far enough. But they've always been an elite program. I think they have no problem getting out of the West. Just
Yeah,
because this region has like a bunch of teams that just been
have bad
taken
luck,
advantage of by circumstances unique to this year, and I think they'll just power through.
Yeah. So well, one general message I'm going to make for this whole bracket before I get into the rest of my picks is that one thing that everyone should know about the Final Four and the second round is that it was like calculated that there is about 20 or ish upsets in this tournament, like not including the 8-9s. And you just gotta factor those in, and like literally for the past 10 years, I think there's only been 1 year where there was like all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. So I think you definitely, if you're trying to go for the perfect bracket here, and especially if you get points for upsets, you just gotta, like, for upsets, you somewhat have to go off gut feeling. And again, I'm not a college basketball fan. I don't know nearly as much about it as Sam or anyone else, but I've had somewhat accurate brackets before in the past. I've gotten over 70, 80% a couple of times, and gut feeling has always been like you remember when Murray State had John Morant?
Yeah.
I had them going to the Sweet 16 just because I watched a couple of their games. I watched their playing game too, and I knew that they had that sauce. They had that that cachet to make it a little further. So that's why I have Tennessee and FSU making it in. Now, granted, the 1 seeds in this tournament are very strong this year, but those are just those are the 2 that I see making a run, especially since FSU, I'm not going to lie, I've just seen a lot of people picking them to make it a little bit of a Cinderella. And I'm sort of going off the popular / unpopular upset opinion there. And Tennessee, I'm not going to lie, that's full gut, because they made it to the Final Four 2 tournaments ago, I believe. And so I just have them making it this time.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree and disagree with you here. So I'll start with the agree. Out of the East region, I had Michigan because I saw a Michigan game. I saw one.
I should scroll down to that. Hold on.
And they played fantastic. But the problem is their star player is not going to play in the tournament. So I had to. I made the switch. And I think we have near identical brackets up until that Elite 8 game here. I think Georgetown unbiased.
For the East?
Yeah, for this region.
Hold on. Before you get into that, anyone, because like obviously Sam's a Georgetown student, and like I know Sam, and you guys are gonna say, oh, it's biased. You guys are just picking Georgetown.
No way, man.
That's the way they've closed out the season has been insane. And like, I mean, come on. I just think that's the easiest upset pick you can pick in this entire bracket.
Yep. I 100% agree. And that seems to be the national media narrative too. Georgetown beat Villanova, Creighton, and Seton Hall all consecutively on like back-to-back days. I think Colorado is not better than Villanova or Creighton, and I think Georgetown got them. Colorado is high seeded because they did very well in the Pac-12 tournament. Like they got to the finals. I think Georgetown over Colorado is a good pick, but I think Florida State beats Georgetown just because of how aggressive of a team they are compared to Georgetown's. And Georgetown doesn't do well against that aggressive style of play.
Also, Georgetown didn't really as great as they did in the tournament, they didn't really turn on the gas until that last month. I mean, even like you were saying on your story, how shocked you were that they made the tournament.
I'm like, how crazy! So surprised. This hasn't the last time Georgetown won the conference. This is a tidbit, but they hadn't won it since 2007. The last time they won it in 2007, they made the Final Four.
Yeah. Wow.
Last
time 2007. Wait.
Also, 2007 Big East is a lot harder than 2021 Big East.
So wait, in 2007, wasn't there a couple of? Is there some names on that team I'd recognize, because that was back when Georgetown was still a bit of a powerhouse.
Maybe.
Dwight Howard was already drafted at that point, but I know he
came out. He was straight high school.
Oh no, he was straight out of high school, right? No, who was it that was Roy Hibbert? I remember went to Georgetown.
He would be on that team.
Yeah.
Roy Hibbert
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
on that team. Let's see. Pulling up the roster right now. Roy Hibbert, Jeff Green, Pat Ewing Jr., who was a beast.
Jeff Green must have been good in college.
Yeah, I mean that's really it, man. If you have two NBA caliber players and players like Jeff Green and Roy Hibbert who have been around in the league for a long time, like if you have long starters, two of them, that gets you pretty far in college.
For sure.
Yeah,
one more question. So you're how long exactly have you been a Georgetown fan? Just sort of since you got there, or
for about a year.
For a long time.
For about a year.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you a little bit about that. I was a Villanova fan, believe it or not, just because I was a Philly kid, and I always rooted for the Philly schools, and the best Philly school always was Villanova. And so I was always a Villanova fan. They won 2 national championships when I was in high school, which was fun. And I don't know. And then when I was
and they had that buzzer beater.
Yep, I remember that. One of the best sports moments of the decade, maybe ever.
Because then they were going up against UNC, and I remember
they
got
a very good North Carolina team too.
Oh yeah, tons of NBA talent on that.
Championship in 2018, I think. Yeah, they were just full steam ahead. Forgot about it.
Man, and that was around the time that Kentucky was still good. Those were good times for the March Madness, but and then you had that game. We thought it was a game winner from UNC, and then Villanova came right back and then hit one on the other side of the floor to beat the clock.
Insane game. I'll rewatch it every time.
For sure.
Then they lost to I think Wisconsin, and then UNC won in 2017. That's right, 2017 UNC won, and then 2018 Villanova just marched through everybody. Like on-stop, West Virginia, Texas Tech. They played Kansas in the Final Four and won by like 40. And then they beat Michigan in the national championship game with what was the ginger kid's name? DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo had like 19 points.
In 18?
In 2018, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Little white kid for the Bucks now. But yeah, they were a good team. But now I'm a Georgetown fan. That's just how it goes.
I imagine when you got to college and there was like the culture of it there, it's easy to catch on.
Easily, yeah. And I'm a big sports guy, so I joined clubs that support the basketball team and the other teams at Georgetown, and I don't know. I kind of just adapted and went with it. And wherever you go to college, if they have good sports, which by the way, I'm very surprised I'm seeing a Georgetown tournament appearance in my career at school, because a lot of people didn't have that. But we'll see, man. It's exciting to be here. If we win, that would be amazing. I don't expect us to go very far. We got a top 10 recruiting class coming in. We have Dikembe Mutombo's kid, a top 10 5-star coming in. It's incredible.
Let me guess, a 7-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dikembe must be pretty big. But and then as a Georgetown fan, can you speak a little bit on the Mac McClung hype and whatever happened to that kid? Remember him?
I do remember him.
He was a sensation coming out of high school, man. It was gonna be big time.
So what happens is often with Georgetown transfers leaving is if Georgetown, you aren't winning, which under Mac McClung, we were not winning. Pat Ewing's hard on you, and there are hard academic standards at Georgetown, regardless if you're an athlete. So most places, you get things at a handicap. Most colleges, if you are an athlete, especially a basketball or a football player, you get things at an academic handicap. So things are easier. You get tutors. You get put in like stupid classes like geology and shit, and then you
or social issues. I bet they do that for all the Duke players.
You got to get like a 2.0 GPA to pass and shit like that. Like it's so easy, bro. And you'll realize this when you go to college. A 2.0 GPA is like show up and breathe. Like that's how easy it is. But Georgetown is a hard 2.0. Let's just say that. It's hard to get C's at Georgetown, especially when you're traveling the country as an athlete. So since Georgetown has such a high, and this sounds like I sound like an asshole, but Georgetown has like a high academic standard that a lot of athletes, struggle to meet. So I think that's why Mac McClung left. He went to Texas Tech, I think. And that team was just
Really?
coming
I didn't
off
know
of they lost in the finals to Virginia in 2019. So I
Mhm.
think it was a better basketball program. It sounds like I was calling Mac stupid. No, Georgetown's hard to play for, like as a student athlete, because they emphasize the student over the athlete. And being a college athlete is so hard. Like you could pay him whatever you think, but it's just such a hard life because you're traveling the country on like Spirit
Especially if you're like a
Airlines.
top recruit. You're
Mhm.
treated like a pro, except you don't get paid.
Exactly.
Like the fans treat you like a pro, the coaches treat you like a pro.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, like imagine having to take a class and act like a kid for a couple of hours and then like, be like honest and stuff with everything. And then you go to an arena packed with like these screaming fans and stuff, and then you feel like an adult
Yeah.
in that scenario. And a lot of these guys are only there for a year.
Yeah, but Georgetown likes to do that's another thing. Georgetown doesn't like the what's it called? The 1 year pro, like the
Mhm.
1 year college pro. They hate that shit, man. They want you here for 40. They want you to get you like a degree. Because Pat Ewing got a degree. John Thompson Sr. and John Thompson III, who were father-son duo, coach at Georgetown for 40 years. They were very big on getting the athletes degrees. I think the only guy that didn't get a degree, and he might not have finished it, was Allen Iverson. Was the only guy that I think, because they
I
realized
mean,
he
didn't
was
he hit the
so.
league at like 20?
Yeah, but they realized he was such a talent. But he was in college for 2 years at Georgetown. But Dikembe was here for 4. Alonzo Mourning was here for 4. Otto
Dude, I bet he
Porter.
had like I bet AI had like the agents coming out the wazoo at him the moment that he said he was leaving Georgetown. Probably before, honestly.
He was, Georgetown's a big integrity program. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's why Mac left. I wish him the best at Texas Tech. And that's a good college program. I see you had them going very far, as do I.
I'll switch back to my bracket here. So
Yeah.
now that we're on the subject of Texas Tech, it gives me a chance to go to the South Division. So my most confident pick, I would say like a 9-8 is not really an upset, but like the most confident, I guess you could say, upset pick would definitely be Wisconsin, just because rolling into, I mean, like when you click, I think it might show it here. Well, this is like a little interesting thing to look at because it shows a bit like how a team truly is
cool
going into the tournament.
Yeah.
And when it shows on a different website here, like the one where my mouse is, like a little bit more information on the team. And when I read up on what Wisconsin has done like the last month or so and the wins they've had, and when I looked at in comparison to UNC, I just think Wisconsin's rolling into this tournament with real confidence in this matchup, and I just feel really secure about them beating UNC.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will, but I think they got a really good shot.
I think I also have Wisconsin just beating them because I just think Wisconsin's just a big, tough team. They're big kids, always. Like they're just these giant kids, and I don't know.
And they never lose in the first round. I can't remember the last time.
I can't see them losing in the first round. My upset, the biggest upset I have in the bracket, is Colgate over Arkansas.
You have what?
I have Colgate over Arkansas.
You have the toothpaste winning in the first round?
Yeah, you know why? Because they're 14-1. All right.
Where is Colgate? I gotta find them on my thing.
Colgate's in Hamilton, New York, upstate New York. It's
No, I mean on the bracket, like what side?
Arkansas, right? You just missed it. It's Gate. Go back up to
right.
South. Yeah, it's go up to South. No, not that.
Right here? Got it.
Yeah. That team. 14-1.
How come?
14-1, 11-1 versus the conference. Get this. Not only they give up less points per game than Arkansas does by 2 points, and they outscore. They average 86 points per game. That is insane. And Arkansas gives up about 70 points per game. That's
why don't we
not
pull this
good.
up since we got the
Yeah,
we
you
got
can
it
pull up
right
the
here.
stats. Look at that.
Yeah. Wow. No, you're right.
Adjusted performance.
They got him right there.
This is the Colgate just has I got this feeling like
Look at their
Colgate
true shooting percentage, 60%.
Yeah, you have a
That's
conference
crazy good.
championship. Yeah, exactly. You have a conference championship team. This is an upset. A team that wins an obscure conference playing against an at-large state school bid. Arkansas, don't know too much about them.
Isn't that SEC? SEC?
Yeah, SEC. But I mean, look at the strength of schedule. It's not that big, but Colgate significantly outperformed Arkansas. The only reason why Arkansas is ranked third is because of they're just a bigger conference school. And also, if you know a thing
they probably have a few impressive wins in there.
Yeah. If you know a thing or two about the Arkansas Razorbacks and their sports history, they're losing this game.
Yeah, I mean the last time Arkansas has been good in football is when Darren McFadden was there.
McFadden, yeah, 07. And then they
been a long time.
Petrino falling off the motorcycle. He's in the neck brace covered in road rash.
Wait, who's Petrino?
The football coach. Look at Bobby Petrino. We'll look that up. But he was he was Arkansas was third in the country going to play in the SEC championship in 2011 for football. This is football now. And, if you won the SEC championship, you went to the BCS. That's just how it was back then. And Bobby Petrino fell off got in this horrible motorcycle accident. But he was on the back of his motorcycle was a mistress. He was cheating on his wife for 20 years. So after he gets out of the hospital, he has a press conference. He's got a neck brace on. His face is just like melting from road rash. It was a mess.
Oh God.
Arkansas
man, you gotta put that. You gotta put a link in the chat when we're done with this.
For sure, man. It was funny as hell.
Now that we're on the South here, I think that's a very analytically good upset pick. And of course, like I said before, there's going to be, I can guarantee you guys, there's going to be more than there's going to be at least 15 upsets we're going to see in this.
I think it's going to be in this tournament. Insane. It's either going to be, it's either going to be hot or cold. It's either the good teams are just going to dominate the lower teams just because how everything is messed up because different teams had different games. And, I think coronavirus really threw college basketball into a loop because the big powers.
And it threw all sports into a loop for sure.
But especially the college, as you saw in college football, Pac-12 had 6 games. Same thing in basketball. It's even worse in basketball because it's not like an outdoor sport. So there was one thing outbreaks.
I should mention a bit since we're on the topic of college a bit. Some of these prospects in the Pac-12 guys are being heavily slept on because of the amount of games they've played. And there's some guys from last year who put on a little bit of a show in the end of the year or showed promise, I should say, at the end of their seasons. And we're supposed to come into this year to prove a lot, basically to try to improve their draft stock. And the only guy that's really hyped up from the Pac-12 to be a top prospect is Penei Sewell. And that's just because he's been the best offensive lineman in this class for years now. And we knew he was going to be this amazing talent coming up. And he didn't really he could have took this year off and he still would have been a lock for a top 5 pick. But I'm telling you, man, when we get into our draft analysis and when we eventually show film and we break down some of the guys we're sleeping on or some of the guys that we want our favorite teams to target, obviously the Eagles and the Raiders, you're going to see there's a lot of guys in the Pac-12 who are going to slip down the board that are going to be nice fits. So that's one, I guess, positive for NFL teams, but negative for the college players.
Yeah, that's something to excite, to talk about. You talk about draft. Now that we have this screen privilege, we got to be using this more. This is such a tool, and we're going to upgrade the video just as a podcast operations update. We're going to be more video centric, more video friendly, I should say.
For sure.
Screen share is going to be a helpful dialogue tool. So you have,
and I'll make sure whenever I screen share, I'll keep things nice and clean. And seeing the when I'm showing the film and stuff, I won't have a bunch of text messages going against the screen and stuff. It'll just be focused. You'll just see the screen. You'll just see the film, and you'll see me. So it'll be nice and clean there. And but anyway, on this bracket, I got Texas Tech making another somewhat of a surprise run because I'm not high on Arkansas. And then what you just said only solidified my belief a little bit more. And
Yeah.
yes, Ohio State has been a very nice team this year. But just I think Texas Tech is a very good tournament team because of their defense and coaching. And that's what does a lot of winning in every sport. And it just seems like when Jarrett Culver left the team, a lot of people thought that they would start to struggle and not be and not make it as far in a tournament like this because they sort of relied on only him on offense and then they'd play great on defense. But as you can see, they're a 6th seed, and let me check their stats a little bit. Um,
Oh.
this is around the same of what they were in the last tournament.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, but
everything they
these
got
aren't.
is like about the same.
Look at that defensive efficiency, though. That's what
It's
Texas Tech
ridiculous.
wins games.
Yeah,
That's why they'll win the tournament game.
it's pretty crazy.
It's free throw shooting and
Yeah,
defense in college and 3-point. That's all it is. It's shooting. And, I don't
and
know.
look at
That's
that. They got
why.
a higher net rating than a team that's ranked 3 seeds above them.
Yeah.
So I got them against. I mean, OSU could prove me wrong. I
Nah,
mean,
I don't know. They weren't that good.
they
On
haven't been to the tournament before, so I really can't judge how they would play.
They had some good
But yeah,
teams
I
back
think that
then
sort
with
of wraps up.
Malloy.
I think out of all my sections, the South is what I'm the most confident on.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's pretty cut and dry. You got a Big
mhm.
12 Elite 8 matchup and Baylor. Baylor's just by and large, just killed the Big 12 this year. So I think, yeah, that makes sense.
They've been so dominant. I think they've been equally as dominant as Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And one more thing about this South bracket is this game right here. I was not confident about this pick at all. Like it could go either way. I think in this game because I haven't watched either of these teams, obviously, and just I don't know. I like
You got to
is
give me Villanova
Purdue
here.
is
But I mean,
Purdue a little
look at their
stronger?
stats, man. Nah, Villanova's got it. Villanova's always going to be a good shooting team. Look at that free throw percentage. Look at that true shooting. Look at the net ranking. They're not very good they're not very offensive defensively efficient, but I think they are a better team just because they make their shots and they play good team basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Now
It looks
Purdue,
like in the adjusted performance, they've got Purdue beat there, which is an important thing to look at.
Purdue might have that home state advantage because all of this is in Indiana. I just looked it up. That game is in Indianapolis, not West
Yeah.
Lafayette. So, I mean, you could make the commute. But, I mean, I don't know. I just think Villanova will thrive and win. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. And they rarely lose that early in the tournament. So
Yeah,
there
that's
you go
true.
there. That's going to be an exciting second round matchup for sure.
Yep.
But moving on to a different part of the bracket. So, I mean, obviously, I got Tennessee upsetting Illinois, which is not a lot of people have. But I somewhat explained why I have Tennessee in the Final Four a little bit earlier. But we
Yeah.
shouldn't skip over how good of a Illinois team this has been. So I'm just going to click on this real
They're
quick. Just
my
explain to
national
us.
champion. They are my
Yeah.
national champion.
Explain how they've been this year and why exactly you think people should be high on them.
They have 2 phenomenal players. They have Cockburn, and I forget the guy's name. I can't say it, but it's like Olinjo or something like that. But just like a 1-2 punch of a team. They've
Any NBA guys on that team, you think?
2 of them, like 2 or 3 NBA guys on the team, and I just think they're so much better. I think Tennessee hasn't been bad, but I don't think Tennessee's got a tough route to get there. Oregon State's going to be tough to beat out of the first round if you go to Tennessee.
That's a bit of a.
And Oklahoma State isn't a sleeper either. Like that's no slouch of a team.
Yeah, I was actually like the winner of this game. I was going to pick to go to the Elite Eight. Is just again, it's not based on anything analytical. It's sort of just a gut feeling on Tennessee. So yeah, I mean, I can't deny anything you're saying about Illinois. So it'd be exciting to see what they can do. But go ahead and give me your thoughts on the second seed, Houston.
They're a very good team, and they weren't with Illinois. They were with like a Baylor, and if they were in the Michigan bracket, they would be the Final Four team. It's just because they got to go up. Listen, I don't know how else to say this, but like I don't want to jinx it, but I am on a 4-in-a-row tournament streak, knock on wood, of predicting the champion. I had Villanova, North Carolina, Villanova,
really?
and Virginia. Yep. And then I took a year off. I've had 2 bad years where they just haven't advanced. But I've predicted since I've been doing brackets since I was 8 years old. I've had 7 teams win the championship. So I'm not bad.
Wow.
I'm not bad at this. Like
So you're
finding
good
the
at finishing the
grand total
bracket.
winner. Correct.
I have to say my sweet spot is the first round, the second, and the Sweet 16. I've always been a bit of a sniper for those upsets.
And that's more talented than what I do. But I'm just telling you. And
I don't know, but I never get the Final
upsets.
Four right, though. I never get the Final Four right, it's more fun. It's more fun. It's more fun at the end when you have all your guys in the Final Four. But like I'm used to only having like 1 out of the 3, or that year when Duke had Zion, Cam Reddish, and like Trey Jones and RJ Barrett.
You had to know they weren't winning.
What do you mean I had to know? They were playing so well that year.
You had to know they weren't going to win. Because it's not always the team that's like the best. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I know.
But I thought they couldn't lose just because I was a freshman at the time, but
yeah.
So maybe I could have gone better about it, but just they were so exciting, man. Like
they were exciting. It was one of the best college basketball teams I've ever seen. But also, so were the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats. They were undefeated. Yeah. Karl Anthony Towns. They had 9 NBA players on that 2015 team. 9. And they lost to Wisconsin.
It's ridiculous.
Frank the Tank Kaminsky.
Oh, and I forgot that I'm actually missing a guy from that Duke team that I didn't mention. Trey Jones was the backup. The starter was Kobe White.
Yeah. They were a good team, man. They were a really good team. But it's like, I don't know. That team, that like really good team that isn't going to win, that people have, is not Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois reminds me more of like a 2018 Villanova, where they are the best team overall and they will win the championship. The team that reminds me of the Duke of 2019 is Gonzaga, probably.
Well, I mean, Gonzaga already has their tradition of choking a bit.
Exactly. So they gotta fight.
Well, if you had to pick a different team,
sure.
If you had to pick a different team to be that Duke disappointer, what would it be?
I could see Alabama going and losing the first round. There's always
Bama in the first.
upstate.
Hold on, let's look at this.
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know. Fucking never mind. Not
that I was
Ohio State Oral Roberts is my 215 upset to watch out for.
Ohio State Oral Roberts.
That's the one. I was gonna beat I was gonna beat the online school Grand Canyon. Dude, look at that, 82% free throw shooting.
Wow,
they're better shooting team. Man, this might be a good.
They're better. Look at that.
Look at that defensive efficiency
and true shooting.
Look at that defensive efficiency.
Well, it's actually tied in numbers. They're just I don't know why it's I think how they do this is that like they label out factors that could mean a lot more, and I think that Oral Roberts being the same as Ohio State in defensive efficiency is supposed to mean a lot.
Look at everything except for net ranking and seed. You'd think Oral Roberts is going to win.
Yeah, you got a point there.
So I mean,
there isn't always a 215 though. I mean, it happens like every 2 years though.
Let's be real. Yeah, Ohio State's going to win this game. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to look out for like a first round disappointment in the high seed, this would be it. I don't think we'll see another 116 seed for a long ass time.
No way. Yeah, that's usually a safe bet.
That was a once in a. What was it? The University of Maryland, Baltimore County Retrievers. They didn't miss a shot.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yeah, and they won by 16 too. You could tell it was like fluky.
They didn't miss a single shot that game. You're not going to beat a team that shoots 90%, regardless of who you are. If Georgetown Hoyas played the 98 Bulls and they shot at 90%, they beat the 98 Bulls. You know, like that's just how basketball goes. But I mean, it should be exciting. It should be fun. Hopefully I don't lose a Final Four team in the first round. That is the worst feeling ever because it just cuts off a whole branch of your bracket.
No, when I lost Duke in the Sweet 16, I was really sad. And like, especially since they almost lost to Taco Fall and until Zion got that and one at the end of that game. Do you remember seeing that game? That was like really exciting.
Yeah, I thought UCF had him.
I thought, especially since like UCF had a couple guys in that team where I thought, they were making shots and stuff. It wasn't just Taco carrying the whole time. But that's when I sort of fell in love with Taco Fall, was that game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that was fun.
I do unfortunately have to bounce.
This early?
Yeah, I said 8 my time. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Well, real quick.
Yeah.
Let's just go over Elite Eight and Final Four. Who do you have as your Final Four? Explain to us why you have 4 1 seeds this year?
I don't anymore because I switched out Michigan.
Okay, good.
And the only reason why was because I'll tell you why I had Michigan. The only reason why I had Michigan was because I saw them in that game and they just looked like they were going to be the national champs. But the driving force behind that, I forget his name, is not playing, so they will not be the 1 seed. I think Baylor and Illinois, just because the Illinois and Baylor are the best teams out of that side of the bracket.
Yeah, Baylor's my champ, so I see that.
Yeah, and then Gonzaga and Alabama. I think Zaga is better than Alabama, and I think I don't know. It's just like fair. with Michigan eliminated, Alabama's the best team in that East region, and with it's going to sound stupid, but I just think it's the best overall teams from those regions. And then I have in the final Gonzaga and Illinois, and I just think that reputation of choking is going to catch up to Gonzaga. Illinois has been a cursed program. It'd be nice for them to get a win. But we'll see.
Yeah, I can really see that. You sort of really convinced me over this last hour that, like, I mean, Illinois, this is their first time being this high up of seed, and like, have they ever been a 1 seed before?
I think once or twice. They had Deron Williams for a couple of years. So
back in like the early 2000s, they were pretty good.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, they could really take advantage of this tournament, but I also think Baylor has a good shot of taking advantage of this tournament. They've been red hot, like you said, in their conference tournament. And Gonzaga, I don't think they roll through. I think actually they struggle against UVA and Kansas. But I think they handle business against FSU. And then in this final year, I just do see Baylor seizing the moment, man. That's another thing. I always pick the championship game on gut feeling. And yes, I've never been right on the championship game, but just this time, I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more confident. And then, did you have a score for the final?
Yeah, like 61-56.
61-56.
I think that's a good score. It's normally odd, the 60s or 70s range, but we'll see.
Maybe I should lower this a little bit. Maybe I'll shave off a few points.
Keep it. The tiebreaker doesn't matter. I don't know. If you get a perfect bracket, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, the odds. How many people get a perfect bracket per year?
Like 0.
Yeah. That's another thing we should look up after the pod. Yeah. But one last thing before we close off, I want the people to remember that don't shy away from those upsets because, like I said, there's 15 or more every year. And then I don't think it's a bad strategy to be high on Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, or Michigan, but just be wary of some of these 2, 3, 4 seeds. We got some strong ones in this tournament for sure. Houston is a very strong 2 seed.
We'll see. Bama.
Bama is a strong 2 seed. I think you also got. I think Oregon's a very strong 7 seed for sure. Yeah. And you never know. UVA could surprise us. We didn't get to see them in the conference tournament, and they are the defending champs, so they can make a run. Texas Tech could maybe be. I don't see it, but they can maybe beat Baylor there. So yeah, just be on the lookout. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna be glued to my TV for the next week watching all these games.
I can't wait. I miss the feeling. But I mean, sorry, this is a little bit rushed. We have a little March Madness special. I'll get this up tonight. But
we'll have more free agency next week when there's more moves. And after this podcast, I don't know in like what order it's going to be uploaded, but you'll hear my thoughts on the Raiders of the last week just because I
might save that for the free agency special. But we'll talk about free agency next episode. We just wanted to do our March Madness. It's important to both of us. But thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, and hope you guys enjoy the games.
All right, peace.